one of the things that I found as I was going through the Gospel of John is just a greater sense of, he's writing real history here. Everybody knows that John is writing great theology. You read the opening verses of John 1, and in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And you know this is going to be deep and profound theology. And so sometimes people have even kind of said John's the spiritual gospel. But the fascinating thing about the Gospel of John is that he has geographic references as often, if not more often, than in some of the other Gospels, and to places that none of the other Gospels speak about. And he knows things about what's going on in Jerusalem. There's the Pool of Bethesda that he describes as a 5-colonnaded pool. And that's exactly how the archaeology has come out. It's not just one pool, it's actually 2. And there's a colonnade that is a portico or a roofed area that surrounds the whole thing like a big rectangle, but another one that bisects the 2 pools. And that's exactly how John describes it. John talks about Jesus turning water into wine, and he mentions stone water jars. And we know about these from rabbinic sources, but to actually have discovered some of these in Galilee, and to see that you have these large vessels that stand about knee-high that are cut out of limestone. And the reason you did that, if you were a Jewish person in the first century, is that you were worried about the uncleanness and cleanness laws of the Old Testament. And if you touch pottery, then it retained uncleanness. But if you touched stone, it didn't. That was how Jewish rabbis were talking about in the first century. And so you see these stone water vessels that have been coming up. There's a nice display of these in the Israel Museum. And John actually says these were used for purity. And that's exactly right. He knows what's going on in the culture. And so you get this greater sense that John's living in the history of Jesus' day. He's knowing exactly what's going on, giving us references that we don't see in the other Gospels. And we start finding archaeological materials that remind us he's doing good history as well as this profound theology.